You're listening to an episode of the Bible Talk Show, a production from Bernard Studios, where the truth never goes off the air.
Coming up tonight on the Bible Talk Show, where the truth never goes off air. A woman who prayed with all her heart, a hope that never gave up, and the story of a child who grew up to serve God faithfully. But before we meet our guest, let's check in with Walter to see where in the Bible we are.
Thanks, Mr. Kingsley. Today we're in the Old Testament in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1. Our story takes place in the town of Shiloh, where a woman named Hannah lived. She was married to Elkanah, and though she loved him very much, her heart was heavy because she had no children. Every year, Hannah and her family traveled to the temple to worship God, and it was during one of these trips that Hannah poured out her heart in prayer, asking God for something she longed for deeply. Back to you, Mr. Kingsley.
Thank you, Walter. Joining us tonight is a woman whose faith, patience, and hope changed her life and the life of her son. Please welcome Hannah. Hannah, welcome to the Bible Talk Show. It's a blessing to have you here.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley. I'm happy to be here and share how God's timing changed everything for me.
Let's start at the beginning. Life was very difficult for you, wasn't it?
Yes, I loved my husband, but my heart ached because I couldn't have a child. I watched others around me with their children, and I wondered if I would ever experience that blessing.
That must have been painful.
It was, but I didn't stop believing in God. I went to Him in prayer, even when I felt sad and alone. I cried silently, pouring out my heart and asking Him for a child.
And that's when you made your promise to God.
Yes, I promised that if God gave me a son, I would dedicate him to serve the Lord for his whole life. That was my way of showing Him that I trusted Him completely.
And God answered your prayer.
He did. He gave me a beautiful son, and I named him Samuel, which means I asked the Lord for him.
Hannah, you kept your promise and brought Samuel to serve in the temple with Eli, the priest. What was that like?
It was bittersweet. I loved Samuel deeply, but I knew that God's plans were greater than my own. Watching him grow up in the temple, learning from Eli, and seeing him faithfully serve the Lord filled me with pride and joy. Even as a young boy, Samuel was devoted to God, listening to him and following his ways.
Samuel went on to become a great prophet. You must have been amazed.
Yes, God's timing was perfect. He gave me a child when I needed hope the most, and He prepared Samuel to do his work. I learned that when we pray, we must also wait patiently, trust God's timing, and have hope, even if the answer takes longer than we expect.
That's an important lesson for all of us. For the kids listening today, what would you tell them about prayer and hope?
I'd tell them to never stop talking to God. Pray with your whole heart, be honest with Him about your feelings, and trust Him, even if the answer doesn't come right away. God's timing is perfect. He knows what's best, and when the time is right, He'll answer.
And your story with Samuel shows that God can use our prayers to not just bless us, but also to accomplish His plans in the world.
Exactly. Prayer is powerful. Hope keeps us going, and trusting God's timing allows His plan to unfold beautifully, even in ways we could never imagine.
Thank you, Hannah, for sharing your story. Your life reminds us that prayer, hope, and trust in God's timing can change everything.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley. I owe everything to the glory of God because He listens and cares and always keeps His promises.
That was Hannah, a woman whose prayer and hope brought God's plan to life. Her story teaches us to pray earnestly, hope always, and trust God's perfect timing. I'm Mr. Kingsley, and this has been the Bible Talk Show. Thanks for joining us, and remember, the truth never goes off air. Good night, everyone.
This has been an episode of the Bible Talk Show, a production from Bernard Studios. This episode was written and directed by Abigail Bernard. Our vocal talent included Barrett Richards as Mr. Kingsley, Matthew Bull as Intern Walter, and Becca Traynor as Hannah. Tune in next week for another episode of the Bible Talk Show, where the truth never goes off the air.